Hey guys, and welcome to Mon Bazou. This is a new series we're starting. I've been really enjoying the Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 videos that we've been doing, but I've been playing this game a lot, and I haven't fully finished the game, so there's still some things to discover later on. But I thought this would be a great addition to the channel, and it could be for some very entertaining episodes. So if you don't know what Mon Bazou is, it's an automotive simulation game where you have to maintain your hunger, your thirst, your energy, while also trying to build, as you can kind of see to the left there, your race car or your prize gem of a car. We also start out with a pickup truck. We have a home to start with, as you can see here, kind of like a little mini home in the middle of nowhere. Plus we have a shed. And then we have lots of other things to develop along the way. So I'll give you a quick little tour of the place, and then we'll start grinding and making our first few bucks, and then start our first couple additions to the property. So here's the old truck that it's called. It's essentially just a pickup truck. It's as basic as it gets, 4-wheel drive. It starts out kind of as this red beigey with some rust on it. This here is going to be our future garage. I'll explain more about this later. This is our Koenig, is what it's called. I do believe it's kind of based off of the BMW. Of course, they can't use the actual BMW name, but this is the Koenig. This is kind of like the car we're gonna build to make our big race car. This is kind of the shed we start out with, so it gives you kind of like a little to-do list of stuff. School bus going by. You can actually wait at the end of your driveway, and this school bus will give you a lift into town for free. We'll do a little lift into town a little later on. I'll show you guys around. But you kind of start out with this jerry can, which I'm going to take this jerry can. We're going to throw it right into the truck because we're going to need to fill it up right away. So we can just do that. You kind of start out with some parts for the Koenig to start out with. Another tire. You start out with a chainsaw, which is a great way to make money starting out. So we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And then, yeah, so you have like these to-do lists. So to start, it's just kind of like use the adjustable spanner to tighten a bolt. So just like an adjustable wrench on the car. Install some stuff on the Koenig. Buy a tire pump from the gas station in town, which is one of our stop that we got to make in town anyway. So we'll do that then. Another big part of this game is building relationships. So we obviously have a relationship with our mother. Francis is our brother, so we have a fairly good relationship with him. And Jacques is the owner of the gas station. Plus there's a bunch of other people to get to know as this game goes on. And the key with building relationships is a lot of these people have things to offer you as you grow your relationship with them. This is just some parts for the buggy, which is stored right over here. It's not much of a buggy yet, but the parts are just kind of located around the map. You just literally just throw it together and it builds this absolute ripper of a vehicle. We have a quad bike to start out with, 4-wheeler, however you want to call it. And then this is our home. This is what we start out with. So it's pretty standard generic mini home, you know, just it's just a 1-bedroom living room. This is where we save our game. Fridge, which it is stocked with some things that we need. So to replenish our hunger, we eat poutine, and to quench our thirst, we drink maple syrup, because this game takes place in Quebec, Canada, rural Quebec. So as a fellow Canadian, I've found this game super entertaining. This is our bathroom, which if you know anything about this game, this room will become more prevalent as we go. And then our bedroom, where we sleep, maintain our energy. You can also change your flannels. So what color are we wearing right now? We're wearing red. We'll rock the red for a bit. We'll rock the red. But yeah, so this is our property. We don't have power right now, so I'm going to try and do my best to keep the door closed. Not that it really makes much of a difference. So to kind of get power for our home, we have this generator, which is half full. So again, why going into town, maintaining your jerry can full of fuel is very important. So you always have fuel on the ready. You can get attached to actual electric and end up paying power bill, but that obviously costs quite a bit of money, and so you got to build up quite a bit. We got a wood splitter to start, so we can cut down some of these trees to sell. We can sell these trees to our brother Francis, and he'll give us some money. And if you see all the way over here, there's kind of like those 4 posts. We'll leave that alone for a minute. We'll get into that in a bit. But first, let's just go into town. I guess is a great place to start. And we'll go see Jacques at the gas station. I'll give you a quick little tour, and we'll go from there. So one thing that I have set up, I learned pretty early on, is driving mouse and keyboard can be difficult. Also, I have a mechanical keyboard, so it's kind of clicky clacky, kind of loud. So I've set up my PlayStation 4 controller to my PC, so driving is just a little bit easier. I just want to make sure I got my buttons mapped appropriately. Keybinds. Yeah, those are fine. Vehicle steering, throttle, brake, handbrake, shift up, shift down. As you can see, there is something you can add to your vehicles. We'll get into a little bit more on this later on down the road. But anyways, let's get into town, and I'll show you around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and leave the settings for this game, like the default settings, on this, see if my PC can handle it. And then we'll go from there. I don't have the best PC. It can kind of just do like basic games. Like it can't play Apex. Call of Duty is a no. Like PUBG is a no. But like we can do this game. We can do Overwatch. We can do Car Mechanic Simulator, obviously. But yeah. Anyways, so this is the town. So if you can kind of see right behind that tree before it spawned in, there's a cop. So there are police in this game. They will catch you for speeding. You will have to pay a ticket. And so you do have to watch your speed. We'll make our first stop here. We'll talk to our first person that we haven't talked to yet. That wasn't on our list. Just leave the truck running. This guy here is Gilles. I'm gonna try and do a lot of what I can from the controller. This is Gilles. He takes walks apparently around the map. So if you end up losing anything, which if you are experienced in this game at all, it is definitely something that happens, because nothing stays in the bed of the truck. If you can't find it, don't know where it is, or you know it just disappeared on you, you can go to him and he will find it for you. We'll just go a little slower. This is like an abandoned grocery store, which becomes a little more prevalent later on down the road, which we'll get into. This is a local bar which opens up later in the day, obviously. You can go and meet somebody else there, build a relationship with, and open up another avenue to make money. This is the Canada Post Office, which I will confirm it is very accurate. Like, that's pretty bang on. So here is where like you get your bills and stuff like that. I think there's some flyers that get sent, which I don't know if the flyers actually like if like there's actual deals in the game, or if it's just like the flyers are there just, you know, because everybody gets flyers. But our mailbox is number 69. You know, giggity giggity. Giggity 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 giggity. So we have a couple letters here. So again, flyer. So what I like to do is I like to just throw them in the garbage. I'm assuming it's the Maple Federation, which we'll take a little stop down. I'll show you kind of that area. We don't need to go there yet, obviously, but one of the other avenues to make money in this game, which is kind of it's not the main one. There's kind of two main ways to make money, but making maple syrup is like it's one of the two main ways to make money. There are other ways to make money than just the two, but I would say maple syrup and the other way, which we'll get into later, is definitely the two most profitable ways to make money. All right, here is the gas station. So we'll kill the engine. We're at half a tank. I don't want to. We're kind of limited on cash right at the moment, so I don't want to fill up just yet because gas is expensive. I'm sure as it is everywhere. Gas is expensive. So this is regular, which is really funny. Wait, can we use this now? No. Okay. So this game is actually has a lot of funny parts to it. So you can't use regular gas. It's noon already. You can't use regular gas, so we only use super or supreme depending on where you're from. Because we're gas snobs, which apparently we only use supreme in our generator as well, which, you know, nobody ever does, I don't think. If you use supreme gas in your generator, please leave a comment down below and let us know why. Like, does it actually make a difference? I can't imagine, but you know, if it does, great. So this is the gas station. So the gas station does offer some basic parts, like an OEM engine you can buy, some jack stands, some mufflers, an exhaust, trailer hitch, and then just some odds and bobs, you know, brake parts, some nuts. I think there's an ABS unit, which is one of the parts that we do have to fix on the Koenig. Some rust repair, so like for like the wheels and stuff like that on the truck. Some paint, some propane, some tires, tint, some clippers. So like if you want to plant more trees, you can actually clip off a clipping from the tree, and then it'll grow after a certain while. So this is Jacques. He's the owner of the gas station.
Hey, comment est-ce qu'il va aujourd'hui? Hey, prends-toi donc une petite canisse de sirop
So
pour la route, là.
everything is in French because it is Quebec. Some Tom Houston, which the cups are bang on, by the way. Some Tim Hortons, obviously. So this will help with energy. It doesn't do a lot, but you know, if you're getting close to, you know, death, you can buy a cup and it'll buy you some time. So here's a fishing bucket and fishing rod. You can actually catch fish and sell it to the little stand you might have saw as we were driving into town. So you can sell there. It's another great way starting out, because like I find starting out it can be hard to get that initial money coming in until you get your sugar shack up and running to make maple syrup and stuff like that. It kind of gets a little difficult that way. But your hand's in a very peculiar place there, buddy. But like, so like fishing and cutting wood are some great ways to make some money starting out. Cutting wood, obviously you're limited to the amount of trees you have on our property, which is great for the clippers, which I might just buy those anyways.
Ben ouais.
Also, another great thing about this game is you can just kind of phase things through walls. So like if you have things in your hands, you don't have to set it down to open up the truck door. You can kind of just put it through the wall. Realistic, I know. Anyways, let's talk to this guy. This is Normand. Normand is the owner of a racetrack.
Salut! No.
Hello, no. Just leave me alone about the speedway. So the speedway has been shut down. I think there's some complaints about noise. So one of the things that you get from developing a relationship with Normand is he'll open up the speedway at a price. he will open up Speedway at a price. And then, so one of the things that you get from Jacques, oh, two things you get from Jacques, actually. So I think around 10, like maybe 20 or something like that. Like it's 50, right? Is the, so yeah, so 50 is like the max friendship level. And, this shows who you talk to today also. But Jacques gives you two things. One, once you max out your level, you can fill up at the gas station anytime. Doesn't matter if it's closed or not. But also he gives you access to his junkyard, which is where we find another Koenig and then a bunch of spare parts and another car we get to take home, which I'll kind of leave at that for now and whatnot. And then back here is just some, I think that's an Acura Integra. And then this is like an old Toyota, maybe like a Tercel or something. And then, so this steering wheel here is free. You can actually take this steering wheel. You don't have to pay for it. I don't want it. And then there is this grinder disc, which you can also use as a steering wheel. Don't recommend it. Kind of hard on the hands. And then this stuff here, I'm gonna kind of let you figure out what this does on your own. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna use it. But if you know, you know. Don't spoil it for everybody else. But I will say, don't spray this on your car. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, so this is kind of it. I don't think we need. Oh, there was one thing I was gonna. There was a little bit of a screen drop there. What was I gonna buy while I was here? There was something. I don't remember. Was it just the loppers? No. Tire pump. Tire pump is what I was gonna buy. So we're kind of hurting for cash right now. So what we'll do is we'll run this back. We'll cut down some trees. And we'll deliver those to Francis because we need some money, big time. We need some money, big time. I'll just go down the street here a little bit just to kind of show you the rest of town, and then we'll get back and we'll make some money. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Later. Okay, so at the end of the road, just down from the gas station, is the Maple Federation. So this is where you come. This is where you will sell your maple syrup, and they have all sorts of things. When you build your sugar shack, which I'll get into our next episode, it kind of gives you kind of like some default stuff. It'll kind of help you get going. And yeah, that's basically town. There are a couple other spots to visit, which I can kind of just do a quick little cruise through town here. So this here's the lumber yard, so you can actually cut lumber logs to bring here. Now, one thing I noticed, or I felt, I could be entirely wrong about this, maybe I did it wrong, is I felt it wasn't really profitable. Like, I felt like I got more money. Ooh, just a little donut there. I felt you got more money from cutting it and selling it to your brother Francis for firewood instead of not splitting it and bringing it there. Again, I could have totally did this wrong. Who knows? And this is like the decoration store. There are a couple things that we will need to do in here, which we'll do in a later episode. But anybody from Canada, Home Hardware vibes? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Anyways, let's continue. What else can I show you? I could show you the snack shack. That's not really that big of a deal, which I'm sure we'll visit anyways. Oop, slow down. There's a cop. That's the other thing too about playing on controller, I have found, is that it's a lot easier to maintain your speed. Because obviously with keyboard, it's either 0 input or 100% input, right? But with like the triggers on your controller, you can actually feather the throttle a little bit and maintain your speed. But anyways, let's get back to the house. Oh my god, we almost went off the road. Let's get back to the house, and we'll start cutting down some firewood to take to Francis. One other thing I will note, just next door to your house, you have this 2-bay garage. I never used it too much until later on down the road. And the reason being is because it helps offload cars in your game. So, I'll just park on the slab for now, I guess. So, I was gonna say, did I put the gas jug back in here? That'd be something. So, like, it helps offload cars from your game. So, like, say if you get a few cars in your game, it helps take those off the game and helps your FPS a little bit. Again, we only have the truck at the moment, and the ATV and the Koenig. So right now we're doing okay, but as we get another car or two, it might be worthwhile to, offload cars. I'm a little brain dumb today. Me and the wife, the audio queen, we did a little bit of a tear out of what is going to be my new office space and recording room, streaming room, whatever. And it took a lot out of us yesterday. Whoever did it before, they took the plywood for the subfloor and they they just nailed it right to the cement floor using cement nails. And my God, what a chore it was to get the nails out of the floor. Like, excuse me, in the 4-wheeler, please, thank you. What a chore, man. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm hurting. Anyways, the floor is out. The reason why we did it is because we have our backyard is kind of downhill to our house, so like water runs in the direction of the back of our. You'll do that quite a bit playing this game. I just left the door wide open too. So like all the water just runs to the back of our house, and that office is downstairs on that back wall. So we do notice some water coming into the basement. So we finally tore out the subfloor of that. So I want to see like how much comes in, because we've only noticed it once come out past the subfloor, but like we don't know how much comes in under the subfloor and just doesn't come out past, So now that we have it tore out and cleaned up, yes, it was moldy, it was gross, but now that we got it cleaned up, I can kind of judge and gauge, and we have plans to put a French drain in the backyard to kind of help with that. But I'm just kind of curious to see how bad it actually, leaks. Anyways, enough about me, my personal life. I'm sure you guys aren't here to see that or hear about that. But let's cut down some wood. Now, the only thing is I don't know. I've never tested this, and I've put quite a few hours into this game. One thing I've never tested is if I could deliver wood to Francis, like, after hours, But maybe, I guess it's what? It's 20 after 4 in game. We'll probably be testing that, as it's going to take us some time to, cut down some trees. But anyways, let's cut down some wood. Which this great thing about this is an electric power saw. We don't need no batteries. It just runs by magic. So you don't need to worry about filling this up. So what we'll do is you don't really want to cut down maple trees. I'm not too worried about these ones. I have plans for the sugar shack, which we'll get into future episodes. But let's just cut down a couple trees here. We'll load up the truck once they're all split, and we'll run it down to Francis. Right on the 4-wheeler. That's nice. So there's kind of a couple ways to do it, and you do get more wood, like more money based on the type of wood. So one thing I've learned is you get more money for birch than you do pine. You also get more money for maple over the other trees. Um, Stop moving. But pine you kind of use for your sugar shack, which again, next episode, I'll show you what all goes into that. But you use pine for your sugar shack. You use maple, obviously, to tap trees, get maple syrup. But for birch, there really isn't a use for it. And where it's kind of like the middle most expensive, it's kind of the best. Like, if you do want to make money on cutting trees and selling it to Francis, it's kind of the best way to go. You know? Seeing as you make more money than pine, and you need maple trees for maple syrup. So, one thing I noticed, you also get more logs, which is probably why you get more money. That's actually something I should test. What do we got cut here? We have a pine tree. We have birch. Okay, great. I do want to see how much money you get for one of each split log. Excuse me, I just burped. That's disgusting. So we'll start up the splitter. How much gas is in it? So this does take gas. Could use some. So again, just every time you go into town, I've gotten into the habit of just throw the jerry can in the truck. If it's got gas in it, fill something up. Just fill something up. This, the ATV, or the generator. Now, the generator isn't as important right now, but once you get the sugar shack going, you need electricity for the pump to pull the sap out of the trees. So it's not as important at the moment, which is why I don't have it on. But I always found, just if you're going into town, fill up the gas jug. Fill up something with gas so it's empty. Take it in town. Fill it up. Anyways, we're gonna split some trees. We're gonna throw it in the truck here, and we'll run down just the road to Francis. Alrighty, that is all of the wood cut and split from the 3 trees that we've cut down. One thing I do want to experiment with is seeing how much we get for each, type of tree. So I'm gonna get the truck loaded up. I'm gonna try and get a good mix of every bit here. But bear with me. Oh, actually, here's a great opportunity to kind of show you guys how we maintain our stats here. So turn the generator on just so we can have some lights. Turn that off. Turn one on here. Alrighty, so we need some maple syrup, and we need a poutine. There we go. So some delicious poutine, which if you've actually never had poutine, you know what's funny? Is there's a massive debate in Canada on how you say poutine. And I catch myself saying it both ways every now and then. Just, I don't know why. Just because, I guess. So anyways, so now we're not hungry or thirsty anymore. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to get the truck loaded up with kind of the 3 different types of wood. Bear with me. I won't time lapse this one for you. Let me know down in the comments if you do want to see like more time lapse stuff, or if you just want me to cut through the monotonous, boring stuff. I am kind of curious as to what you guys prefer on that, but give me some time. I'll get the truck loaded up. And I am kind of curious if we can deliver this firewood to our brother, like at night, if we don't need him out on his front porch. Because there is specific times you have to, like, you can only talk to him. You can't just go up to him and he'll be on his porch at 2 in the morning, you know? So anyways, bear with me. I'll get the truck loaded up and we'll head on down the road. So one thing I will point out, as you play this game, you will notice once you start adding a load to a vehicle, it'll just start drifting on you. It'll start sliding. It'll just have a mind of its own. So as you can see, it's inching closer to the pad for the garage. So there is a way to stop that. The parking brake is on, obviously, on the truck, but you can actually lock the parking brake. Now the issue with that is things inside the truck will move around on you. Before we take off, I'm going to shut the generator off because we don't need it just yet. So just to kind of save some gas. Yeah. Anyways, let's get this down to Francis. He's just down the road, so it's not going to be too far of a drive. We don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about dying due to exhaustion. But anyways, let's head on down the road here, and I might turn the bed light back on. Just kind of, so the other thing I did too while doing my first playthrough of this game is I drove a lot in third person, just because you lose stuff out of the bed of your truck so much. And then I just got used to driving third person. So for the sake of the video, the recordings, I'm going to do everything in third person. Just, somewhat realistic. So we're probably going to end up losing things. I'm going to try and keep an eye on my rear view mirror, which thankfully it works. And we'll go from there. All right, so here's Francis. He's literally just down the road, and I can't see anything. I can't see anything. So see that circle? That's where we gotta go. So it looks like we can just deliver firewood whenever. So let's do our test. Let's see what we get more of, and then I'll show you a very quick way to offload the truck. Okay? Okay, so let's do a birch. We'll do pine. Sorry, Francis, I'm sure having the truck on is loud and annoying, but we are doing this for science. All right, so we got one of each. So let's see here. So for maple is $8 a cut wood. Pine's 15. I was completely wrong. And birch is 5. So pine is worth a lot more. So forget what I said. But you also get less logs for cut pine. I don't know, however you want to do it. Anyways, cutting wood really isn't the source of income that I enjoy, just because of how monotonous it is. Here, I'll go into third person just to kind of show you. So if you just back in over this spot here, it'll just empty everything out for you. So we got almost $300 for that one load. So which is great. So it's probably the quickest way to get money starting out. It's definitely the quickest. It's kind of annoying. We're close to death here, so I'm just gonna boogie on home real quick. Man, we are a mess. Like, I just barely made it to bed without dying of exhaustion, and we slept until 1:30 in the afternoon. So the lights were on in the truck. We were a mess, but I think that is where I'm gonna have to turn things off for today. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching the video. Again, if you liked what you saw, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. In the next episode, we're gonna build the sugar shack. Anyways, I'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Take care.